welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Finish It Friday, where we see what I've gotten finished this week and what some of you have gotten finished this week. So let's get into what I've done this week, which was not one of these, which is the Tranquility Lilies. I did do the Block Wednesday from Pat Sloan's Sew Along. This is the third block, third week, and I'm using Folk and Lore by Moda for that. I have all three of my blocks here, if you can kind of see how they go together. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and they are supposed to be stacked on top of each other in that order, 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying to use my fabrics in a way that, you know, they all get dispersed evenly in the pattern that she has. Thankfully, she gives us the layout, even though we can't see what the block pattern is until that week rolls around. We can kind of, you know, see where the blocks are going to be positioned and adjust our color scheme, you know, the patterns on each of the prints in a way that it's going to turn out good. Jelly Roll Day, Saturday. We declared it Jelly Roll Week, right? I'm doing this Simply Jelly Roll pattern from the Simply Jelly Roll book, and I am not done. I have a bunch of blocks done, but I still have a bunch of blocks to do. There were 39 blocks in this, and I think I have 14 left to do at this point right now. Maybe I'll get it done this weekend. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It wound up being quite a bit of construction on each block, as you can see here. So I think that's what, you know, even though that was very easy to do in the sampler that we did earlier, you know, just 2 blocks went together really quickly. But when you're doing 39, it seems to slow you down quite a bit. Imagine that. So this is the bulk of what I've been doing this whole week. So yeah, I can't spot anything else around that I have touched other than the Scrappy Celebrations. We got that done, and you saw my finished quilt top on Wednesday's video. So if you missed that, go back and look at that. And if you don't want to watch the construction part, just flip to the end and you'll see my finished top there. And so that was something pretty big that got done this week. That took a couple of days to get that put together and the video made and everything. So, and then I had to stop and do this block. I just had to. I'm really enjoying this fabric line, and I don't know, a block a week is just perfect for me. A block a month is good too. You know, I have the Peaceful Baskets I'm working on, which I did get the pattern this week in the Sew Sampler box, but I didn't get to touch that yet. So you see I've got a jacket on. It's a little bit chilly here. So the Hurricane Helene is coming. It's coming, and it's ending up right here where I live, I swear. On the map, it's what it looks like. The very tip end of it is just going to circle right above where I live. So there's a lot of wind and cloudiness going on right now. Also, I did a whole lot of fabric rolling today. I just had to stop and do something else. I got through my black and white bin and figured out what I was going to do with that as well. So I have 2 bins left to empty and go through. So, and I did wind up doing some of my bigger pieces that I've been rummaging through some of my 3 and 5 yard bigger pieces on that shelf over there, and they're just kind of all in a big heap over there. So I picked up a few of those and rolled those just to get them up out of the floor. And so I've been busy this week, but I just haven't, you know, just like always, there's so much you want to do, but you can only do so much in so many days. So let's go on to what you all have finished this week. I'm starting to get in the Scrappy Celebration finishes, at least the quilt tops. I am going to save those, and I've got quite a list already, so I may just save those for next Wednesday's video. We'll see. But for this week, on regular finishes, I'm going to start with Gail. And she said that this quilt that she made here is called Simple Simon by Daniela Stout for Cozy Quilt Designs. And she said she's also seen this quilt called Stepping Stones, and it's super beginner friendly, and she loved the way it turned out with all the beautiful colors. It's 62 by 80. And she had Missouri Star Quilt Company do the long arming for her in the meandering leaves pattern. And then once she got it back, she did a scrappy binding with the leftover strips. And this was a jelly roll project. So very good, very pretty. You're right, it is very colorful. I love it. It turned out wonderful. It really did. And we're all sad to hear that Daniela Stout did pass away from cancer at the age of 53. Gail had that information here for me. I had heard about that, and so she will definitely be missed in the pattern design community. We always hate to hear to lose talented people like that. But no doubt her patterns will live on for a long time. The next one I have is by Pat, and this is a baby quilt. And she said she recently made this baby quilt for her daughter-in-law's sister using chenille and cotton pieces. The chenille came from bedspreads found in my family's estate. They washed up beautifully and give texture to the top. This is the third one and more requested. Pat from Washington State, where she's beginning to enjoy the beginnings of fall. Yes, I looked and saw that your blue and yellow squares are the chenille. That just makes a very cozy blanket, especially for a baby blanket. And you did an easy crosshatch pattern on there. And you've got a strip going across the back with some of those 9 patches that you made. Very nice. Very cute. The next one I have is from Anne. And this one is, let's see, this is a quilt for her colleague. And she's the one that's making quilts for all the people that she's leaving behind at work. And there's only 2 more left to quilt, label, and bind, she said. So this is one that she's gotten done, and it's off of her work in progress or UFO list. This is a very pretty one with the royal blue sashings in between the blocks. And while it's a very simple pattern, you made it look complicated with all the different colors that you chose to use in it. Turned out really good. Beautiful. And then Dolores had some quilts to make for some grandkids. She has a set of 2 girls that are twins, and so she made them a 16 patch each. One has a pink binding to it, and one has a purple binding to it. I think the backings are those colors too. So that is just perfect. I don't think they've received them yet, but she's going to go to a party this weekend and give those, and couldn't leave the brother of the twins out, so she made him a Chiefs blanket. It's a quilt, and she used cotton out of it for it, and it's his favorite sports team, so he will love that too. Great. The next one is Cheryl, and this is her block number 3, this block here that I showed you earlier. This is her block number 3 in the Block Wednesday Ode to Our National Parks. And she said she added sashings as she goes. So you can see at the bottom there she has a white strip and then the 2 gray with the square in the middle. That's what the sashing will be between the blocks of the Ode to Our National Parks Block Wednesday. So she's already a little bit ahead there and on schedule with her block construction. Great. And I see your bees in there. She's got lots of bee type fabric going on in there. I love the lavender and the gray together. And then the next one is Debbie sent us 2. The first one is an apple top, and this is the sewing, the tutorial that I did a few weeks back, and this is the very same pattern. Yours is great. It looks great. I love your brown window effect there with the sashings. And we can see your applesauce jars in the middle and all the lovely red apples. Looks great, and I love the way you staged it. Debbie's other quilt is a jelly roll quilt. This is just a small one. She added mitered borders and took her time and was pleased how it turned out. And I see that did turn out very good. And a nice black, white, gray, yellow, which I always love to see too. The other one that we have is from Michelle. And she says, this quilt top represents approximately 1/3 of the different fabrics I used in making over 1,000 masks during COVID. There is at least one mask made from each of the fabrics represented, more likely 5 to 7, all made with donated fabric and handed out to all that needed them. That turned out really cool. That is a great idea. And so you have something now to remember COVID by. Well, it is history, right? You should put a label on the back saying all of that once it gets quilted up, so that, you know, when someone finds it 200 years from now, they're going to be looking up what was the COVID pandemic. You'll have a memento of it there. Interesting. But yeah, it turned out great. It's beautiful. I love it. Reminds me of my 16 patches. I should try this pattern. Looks like squares, a square with sashing around it, basically. Very good job. That's what I have for this week. There was many more that were sent in that were Scrappy Celebration, so I'm going to hang on to those, and we'll have a little show of those maybe this Wednesday. An easy video for me to make, and you know, a wrap up, a final wrap up of that sew along. So if any of you are rushing to get done, this coming Wednesday will be the day. If you could make it, try to make it, and we'll add those in too. If not, take your time. You can always send it at a later date for the Finish It Friday episode every week. So thanks everyone for sending in all your finishes. I appreciate it very much. Sometimes I can't use some because of the guidelines weren't exactly followed, or maybe it wasn't a craft that we do here on the channel. But I'm appreciative for every single thing that you send over to me. Even if it doesn't get on Finish It Friday, I appreciate the craftsmanship that went into it, the creativity. Some of you are so talented and have such a good eye for color and for positioning your fabrics. It's just amazing what everyone is able to do, and I really appreciate each and every one of you and what you do. So thank you for sending those, even if they don't make it on Finish It Friday. And I appreciate the ones that we did see this week, and we will continue to do this every Friday. So this weekend we'll have to get into our projects again. I will continue on my jelly roll, my National Jelly Roll Day / week project, and get that put together and maybe have it for you next week to show as a finished quilt top. In the meantime, I will get into the other things that I have going on. You know what they are. And I think probably on Monday I'll be talking a little bit about what the rest of the year is going to look like for me, and how all of you also can be thinking about how to finish up the year and start thinking about things for the new year. Some different things maybe that you haven't done before, or you've wanted to do and, you know, haven't done yet. I'll start talking about that on Monday, and let you know what's on my mind about those things. So, you know, as the year starts to wind down, you kind of get a sense of, I need to hurry, or I need to put something aside, or I need to scrap an idea, whatever it might be, so that you can start fresh on the new year. So we'll be talking about that a little bit on Monday Quilt Chat. And I think that's all that I needed to tell you today. Thanks again, and thanks for tuning in to this episode. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I am about 1,300 subscribers away from 20,000. So I would like to make that by the end of the year. So check and see if you're still subscribed, If you're not, hit the subscribe button. If you see the word subscribe anywhere on the screen, that means you're not subscribed. Either you got unsubscribed or you just never have hit the button. So hit the button and also the black bell so that you get notified of all the videos that come out 3 times a week. All right, thanks for tuning in. I will see you back here on Monday. Get in your sewing room and sew a little bit every day if you can. And I will see you soon. Bye.